The phenomena of alien abduction did not come to the fore until the late 1950s and early 60s with the Betty and Barney Hill case. A very disturbing side of the ET reality was coming to light, that humans were being taken, then undergoing medical-type procedures before being given an amnesic block and returned to the Earth. Today, some researchers believe that thousands, if not millions of people have been abducted by ETs to assist a program of human hybridization. The plan being to make the human race more controllable so that the future control of planet Earth will be met with less resistance. In 1961, President Kennedy made it clear to the nation that he would not stand for secrecy. He knew about UFO cases and insisted on seeing the evidence for himself. Kennedy was taken by Air Force One to Tyndall Air Force Base, where he viewed alien bodies. Kennedy's goal of bringing an end to government secrecy is probably what cost him his life. Project Blue Book continued to investigate the hundreds of cases of flying saucers and other craft being reported to them, and continued to attempt to explain them away, even though on many occasions whole aircraft and entire crew had gone completely missing when pursuing UFOs. One case which troubled Dr. Allen Hynek and probably contributed to him changing his view that UFOs were real was a case in 1964 in Socorro, New Mexico.
Police officer Zamora heard this explosion. I think he was chasing a speeding driver or something. Heard an explosion from where he knew there was, I think, a dynamite hut or something. So he diverted, went over the hill, and as he drove down, there he saw this large egg-shaped silver object. Again, we have two beings that were standing below it, and he stopped, and they quickly climbed back into this craft and took off. And all it left after were dents in the ground, which were photographed, showing the position of the landing gear. And he swore that it was true, that the whole thing had happened.
And the person who led Blue Book, Dr. Allen Hynek, I believe was very troubled by this case because it was his job to basically debunk cases, and this was one particular case that he basically found it very difficult to
trying to debunk the evidence of a serving police officer.
Hynek received heavy criticism 2 years later when he visited the state of Michigan to investigate a spate of UFO sightings. UFOs had been seen all over the county, and Hynek tried to explain them away as glowing swamp gas. Later that year, respected physicist Dr. Edward Ulla Condon was tasked, reluctantly, by the Air Force to direct the University of Colorado UFO project.
There were 3 projects. There were Project Grudge, Project Sign, and then Project Blue Book. In total, 22 years of investigation, which resulted in the Condon Committee being, or rather, Colorado University being approached, and a Dr. Edward Condon to chair it, to make an independent study of all the known material in Blue Book. We do know now that this is a very flawed document, and Condon held very public views on UFOs literally as he got involved in that project.
The Condon investigation annoyed UFO believers as they began to suspect that it was not being taken seriously by its leader. One of these was physicist James McDonald, who interviewed over 500 UFO witnesses, uncovered many important government UFO documents, and testified before Congress during the 1968 UFO hearings.
James McDonald is another sort of hero of mine, for the simple reason that he was a scientist, a physicist, but he wasn't just a physicist, he was a world-renowned physicist who began to delve into the subject of UFOs. Probably started as a complete skeptic about the reality of an extraterrestrial explanation, but within 2 years of his own research he concluded that UFOs were real, and that he basically thought they were surveilling the Earth for whatever reason.
Project Blue Book was terminated at the end of 1969, and in a statement by the US Air Force said they catalogued 12,618 sightings, 701 remained unidentified, but they were no longer investigating UFO cases. In the later stages of Blue Book, its leader, Alan Hynek, began speaking openly about his disagreements and disappointments with the Air Force. It seemed that rather than continue being made to look silly, the Air Force decided to close the door, to prevent any further embarrassment and continue the cover-up in private. In the next programme, I'll start from the 1970s and describe the key events in ufology up to the present day.